Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing productivity. So I was wondering what am I going to do for my first content related video? And I was like, should I do time management? Should I do mindfulness? Should I do how to study? Or the best study technique? Something like that. But for now, we need to dive right into the basics because without the foundation on the bottom, you can't build a house. So we need to build the foundation, and so that's what we're getting into, the definition of productivity, actually the modern definition of productivity since it has changed, and a little brief history. So let's check it out. Alright, before the Industrial Revolution, the word productivity was rarely used, only to signify a surplus in food. Now, fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, and then that's when we start to use the word more often. Why? Well, beginning around the 1760s, the manufacturing processes began to boom in Europe and later in the United States. The switch to mass production within these factories was accompanied by incredible inventions, like the steam-powered engine and the cotton gin, and this allowed workers to increase their productivity. And it was within these factories, I imagine, that the textbook definition of productivity comes from. And so let's dive right into an example. Take Cal here. The year 1800, and Cal is working at a factory that makes shirts. Say on any day, Cal makes 100 shirts, but on a good day, he makes 120 shirts. Wow. Now, in this given amount of time, working hard and efficiently becomes the determining factor in productivity. So, if Cal doubles down and works twice as hard and makes 200 shirts in a day, he would be deemed twice as valuable as the average worker who still produces at an average rate of 100 shirts per day. By simply working hard or focusing to get things done, more rewards are reaped in this age of factories. However, as we fast forward yet again to the digital age, where digital technology is being produced, a new time frame begins, the knowledge era. And so now productivity is harder to conceptualize than it once was, because before it was just like in Cal's time, he could see how much he was making. He had a product he was going to produce, and he produced that product. On good days, he produced more of his product, and on bad days, he produced less of his product, so he could know if he was being productive or not. But here in this time, in 2021, that's not the case, because in the knowledge era, ideas and creations are valued more than physical products. And so that's where it gets a little dicey in how you want to define it. There are so many parameters that we have to work in throughout the definition. So let's create our own definition right here, right now. First, like all renovations, we start with the base, or the original definition in this case. So let's see. Dictionary.com states that productivity is the quality, state, or fact of being able to generate, create, enhance, or bring forth goods and services. And we can tweak this definition to be a little more streamlined. Let's say being able to do the same amount of work with less time. But there is a deeper meaning that has to be captured within this definition, of course. And so I'm going to offer you like 3 factors before we get into our new definition. So 3 new factors that have to be taken account in productivity. So the first point or factor is the feeling of false productivity. Let's take an example. Luther here works for a large engineering firm where he is part of a team in charge of product design. On day X, Luther's schedule is extremely packed. He has 3 short meetings, lunch with his boss to discuss the parameters of the project, a long meeting with his team members, and the time in between he fills with answering emails and occasionally becoming distracted with social media. At the end of the day, he feels extremely tired, but also feels that he was productive. So he labels this day as a success. On day Y, Luther has cleared his schedule, meeting-wise, and has received an okay from his boss to work remotely. In the morning, he has time to eat breakfast, work out a little bit, and engage in some brain incubation, idea incubation for the afternoon. And in the afternoon, that is where he blocks an entire 4-hour chunk of time designated to his project. So in this time, void of distraction, he is able to create 2 significant contributions that would change the game for his product. Satisfied, Luther closes work at 5 and begins relaxing shortly after. Now, what's the difference between these 2 days? Day X is where he felt productive, but was essentially absorbing information and moving it around the entire day. So he was tied up in the busy work, but not directly contributing to the project that he was supposed to be doing. But on day Y, he didn't do as much as on day X, but he made progress on the project he was working on. So this example shows that in the knowledge era, it's not about the things that you do or how many things that you do, it's about the important things that you accomplish, whether for your work life or personal life. Another factor that should be involved in this modern productivity definition is health, specifically treating brain fog and mental fatigue, because the knowledge economy depends critically on the brain's power to generate unique ideas, meaning that if you care for your health, you're going to do well professionally. And brain foods, like blueberries and eggs, are great at enhancing memory and cognitive ability. So a healthy diet can make a great difference. Now, one misconception throughout office jobs is that there's this separation between mind and body. However, the founder of Quick Learning, Jim Quick, states it quite simply. When your body moves, your brain grooves. There's not really supposed to be a barrier because your brain is part of your body, and therefore it is important to eat well and exercise to boost your mental clarity. And the final factor that I thought of, as cliche as it sounds, is happiness. If you aren't doing something that makes you happy, it probably isn't going to last. So make the switch to something that you love and are passionate about, and then the motivation will already be there, and you will keep wanting to do whatever it is that you love. So the meaning encapsulated in productivity has transformed entirely from its original connotation. Here's my new definition. Productivity is working towards an accomplishment with the least amount of time possible. Really, everything within like the productivity industry that I can think of is underneath this statement, like sites that block your activity on social media to decrease distraction, planners and digital calendars to help with time management, and meditation apps that help clear your mind to think big thoughts. It's not about working harder anymore. It's about practicing and working deliberately to achieve your dreams. Now, these are just my thoughts at the beginning of this whole journey, so they're completely subject to change. But now that I have this foundation of where I'm going with productivity, the definition and everything, now is where I'm going to start like doing experiments, or like, for example, like next week I'm going to do a tracking my energy level video. So that's gonna be up, I think, pretty soon. Yeah, so I'll be recording my energy levels throughout the day for about a week within the turnaround time, and probably for the entire month, but for the week for the video. And I'm going to introduce an idea called the biological prime time, so check it out when I upload it. And otherwise, yeah, I got a new mic. Well, it's not new, I borrowed it from a friend, but we have the crisp audio for now. But unfortunately, I'm still stuck with my phone for my camera. So if you want to support me, hit the like, smash the subscribe button, and share with your friends. That will help me very much. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.